This is my professional voice, Shalom. It's a free webinar, you know?
Hey guys, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Can I get a quick sound check that you're hearing me loud and clear, and also that you're seeing that slide that says Secret of the Pros. Discover how you can trade other people's money. All right, sounds good. If you are not seeing that slide, sometimes logging out, logging back in will do the trick, sometimes not. If not, then send Unmal a little private message and hopefully he'll be able to fix it. Anyway, welcome to Secrets of the Pros presented by Live Traders. My name is Jared Wesley, and along with Jay and Unmal, we are Live Traders. I see a lot of familiar names, so a lot of you know who we are. But today we're going to talk about a pretty cool topic. For me, it's a topic that has progressed my trading career immensely, and not only progressed my trading career, but progressed my lifestyle immensely. And that's something I'm going to talk about as well. We'll talk a little bit about wealth building and lifestyle building towards the end. But we're going to spend some time today, and I'm going to save a few minutes at the end. If you have any questions, you can shoot out questions along the way if you like, but I promise you I'll save some time at the end as well. So without further ado, guys, let's dig in. As I mentioned a moment ago, sometimes the slides take a second to come up. There's three of us here at Live Traders, the three main culprits, if you will. It's Unmal here on the left, looking very dapper at the New York Stock Exchange. What was that, a few weeks, a month back? I don't remember exactly. But that's Unmal. Up at the top here is myself, person speaking, Jared Wesley. And then at the bottom, showing his backside to the world, is Jay at his trading desk there. So we started Live Traders beginning of last year, and one of the coolest things that we've done since we started this business is the corporate account program, the CAP program. It's unique in that I'm not sure that anybody else out there in the industry has something quite this cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but before we do, I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about why people just don't make it in this business. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I've been doing this 10 years now, and I'll show you some of my results here in a little bit. But trading is not an easy game. I have some experience trading on a large bank institutional buy-side trading desk in New York City when I came out of college. It's one of the first things that I did. And you know, you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder when you work on Wall Street. You know, so when you come into the trading business, the trading game, you think to yourself, well, come on, this can't be that different, right? I used to work on Wall Street, so to speak. Julie, hopefully you should be hearing me. Everybody else said the sound's coming through clear. So point I'm making, guys, is that trading is a lot different than likely anything else that you've done in this world. It's very challenging. Every day you step into the markets, it certainly becomes a lot easier once you have your feet under you and know what you're doing. But whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, or you know you live on the streets or wherever, it doesn't matter how smart you are or how unsmart you are. This business presents a challenge for everybody. Okay, and the reason people fail, in my opinion, there's four reasons, but the biggest maybe is they just don't understand what they're getting themselves into. They have no idea what it takes to succeed in this business. You see all this stuff online about, you know, people driving around in nice cars and doing all this and that, but they're not telling you how hard they work to get there, right? And you can appreciate that from probably the industry that you're in currently. Okay, so you know, a lack of understanding is one of the biggest issues that traders face, along with the high costs. We were just talking about this today. It's something I'm going to spend a little time on because this one down here, it says can't get HTB, means hard to borrow stocks. This probably cost me somewhere in the $600 to $800 range today. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that today because it's something personal and recent that's on the top of my mind. So that's one thing. But a lot of traders end up doing maybe okay or breaking even, but after they pay for their $100, $200, $300 platform, and after they pay commissions and ECN fees and SEC fees and all that other good stuff, they end up losing money. Maybe they're lucky they break even, et cetera, or they have some unreliable platform that always goes down on them, or like I said, they can't get the stocks that they need to borrow when they're trying to short. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Not enough capital is something that I put on here because it's something I hear from so many people, right? It's not me. I know how to trade. I just need more money. I just need more money. I just need more money. That's bullshit. Okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. You can do more with more. I'm a believer in that. But if you can't do with a little, having a lot more won't help you. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. And then, of course, maybe the most dangerous part of trading by yourself at home in an office with nobody watching you is the discipline. There's no safety switch. There's no kill switch. There's no parachute, right? When you get into, what do they call it, tilt in poker, tilt mode, you lose your head and you do foolish stuff, right? So you don't follow rules. You don't know when to shut it down. You don't take a break. So those are kind of the four main points. I'll address each one of these more specifically, but those are really the main points of why I think traders don't make it. And then I'll tell you how we combat that, how we help traders make it here at Live Traders, okay? So you don't have any idea what's expected. Well, I'm going to tell you what's expected. You need some form of guidance, some form of education. That can come from your neighbor. That can come from Live Traders. That can come from, reading a book sometimes. Most of the time not, but it's possible, right? So you need somebody to show you the path, right? Somebody that's been there and done that can prove their results and say, look, I've been there. I know exactly what you're thinking. A lot of people that I speak to are traders in our room. They're always saying, man, how did you know that? It's like, well, because I've been there. Like I've felt that emotion before. I've felt that pain before. I've sold too soon before. I've let a stock go past my stop before. I've done all of those things. So when I see other people doing it, I go, yeah, I can empathize with you because it's nothing new. It happens all the time, right? The other problem that people have is they come into this business with no idea, not of what's expected, but how they're going to approach it. So if you went out and bought a new restaurant, would you just say, hey, look at that cool restaurant on the corner. Let's go buy that tomorrow? No, you'd probably think it through, right? You'd talk to the previous owners and say, hey, what's your bottom line? What are your costs? What are your expenses? What's the revenue stream? You talk about all of those things, wouldn't you? And then you'd figure out a way, you'd look at the numbers and go, okay, we can make this better, and this is how. Do you ever do that as a trader? I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. When you first started this business, before you ever took that first trade, did you ever really think about that? No. You probably just read some article somewhere and said, sweet, I'm going to go throw 50 grand into an account, and I'm going to go make a ton of money. And that was about the extent of how well you planned it out. And then 6 months, I'm going to quit my job. Why 6 months? I don't know. It just sounds like a nice number. 6 months. Hey, I can do that, right? So a defined plan is a roadmap to success, right? It's how you're going to get from point A, which is losing money, to point B, which is breaking even, to point C, which is profitability. But if you don't have that map, you have no idea how to get somewhere, you're never going to get there, or it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer to get there, okay? So it also defines your charting software, having a tracking spreadsheet, internet that's reliable, all of those things that, again, you would normally think about somewhere else. You just don't think about it in this business. And then this one is really hard. Objectivity, humility, okay? That reminds me, guys, why I'm on this topic. I don't know why objectivity and humility came to my mind when I'm thinking about this, but I wanted to say, side note, towards the end of the presentation, probably going to be 30 to 45 minutes tonight, give or take, maybe slightly longer, but somewhere in that range. We're going to be giving away some cool stuff. We have 4 or 5 things that we're going to be giving away, so stick around for that. Unmal will be doing a little bit of a raffle, so to speak, for a few things. Okay, so let me get back to the presentation, but just wanted to remind you about that. Objectivity, humility. We'd like to think we have this. We don't, right? Everybody's so quick to judge other people, but when the finger's pointed at them, they get all, they get soft. Let's be honest. When somebody says, look what you did wrong, your first immediate response is to defend yourself instead of just saying, you know what, you're right, I messed up, my bad, okay? So objectivity can be tough, and humility is really hard because the market's usually right, okay? Well, always right. So you have to learn from your mistakes and never stop working hard. But the problem with objectivity is when you're your own boss, you tend to give yourself too much opportunity, right? Think about this. If you worked for somebody else, and I don't really care what the business is, it doesn't matter. If you work for somebody else, how many times can you mess up before your boss says, look, that's it. You know what, Jay, Daniel, Julie, that's it. I told you once, I done told you twice, but third time, we got to let you go. We just can't have you making those mistakes all the time. Well, as a trader, how many times have you made the same mistake? And you know it's wrong. Hundreds? For longer term traders, thousands? But yet you still make the mistake. You give yourself a hall pass way too often. If you worked for another company, you probably would have been fired years ago, months ago, right? So it's something to really consider. When you work for yourself, you lack objectivity, right? Especially in the heat of the battle in the moment, okay? And then the last one here is maybe the most important. It's the one people don't talk about because what everybody wants you to think out there, okay? I'm just going to call it like it is. We don't like to bullshit around here. Education and guidance is important. Having a plan is important. Being objective and humble is important, okay? The number one factor in your success in this business will be experience. The number one factor in your success will be experience. Will it probably take you less time to be successful if you have an education, guidance, a defined plan, and objective humility? Yes. But experience is number one, okay? The problem is most traders, as you see here, their expectations grossly exceed their experience. I mean, grossly exceed their experience. They come in and in 2 months they're thinking, well, I'm going to be making about 50 grand a month here soon. And you have like, a $2,000 account. You're like, yeah, I'm going to, make 10,000% this year. Sit there and you shake your head. Doesn't work in any other field, but somehow in this one it will. So you need a realistic timeline. You can't be greedy and naive. You have to work hard, guys, towards those defined goals objectively and patiently at all times. But market experience is crucial, okay? Without it, you're going to have a very hard time succeeding. So as much as I want you to come sit next to me and watch me trade, as much as I want you to show up, okay, and take professional trading strategies, the 460 pages of 20 hours of great material, I want you to do those things. But immediately after you do it, you're not going to be profitable. You have to feel the emotions of what it's like to take 27 cents in slippage. Feel the emotion to be stopped on the penny and watch the stock go back up $1 and laugh at you. Okay, as you sit there and you lost 500 and you should have made 2 grand, and the stock is laughing at you. How do you respond to that? What's your response? Do you go tilt and just say, you know what, F this, and start pushing buttons? Or do you step up and say, okay, check, that's one to the market, but I'm going to get you next time? Well, that's where the experience comes in. Guess what? You won't know until you do it. You won't know until that experience happens. And in trading, for those of you that do have experience, there's a lot of those experiences. Okay, after you've done about 10 of them, you're thinking, I've had everything that's possibly could happen to me in the entire world, and then a new one happens, and you're like, where did that come from? Right? Where did that come from? Okay. Certain fees, guys, as it says, they're the cost of doing business. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to control, right? That doesn't mean, that you shouldn't try to save money here and there with your trading, okay? You have ECN routes, guys. You have SEC Section 31 fees. 95% of you don't even know what the heck that is, but it's a fee that you pay, and you just don't know that you pay it probably, okay? There is ARCA, there is BATS, there's EDGX, there's Knight, there's 50 routes, 100. I don't even know how many. There's a ton of them, okay? But they're not all equal. Some are more expensive than others. Some are cheaper than others, but they're cheap for a reason because you're not going to get filled for crap using a particular route, okay? And other routes are more expensive and they're worth it, and sometimes they're not worth it, okay? So one of the things we do around here is we talk about routes and fees and how to save money in that stuff because nobody else does, right? Level 2 information, all right? Saving yourself money on certain types of stocks because, again, that SEC fee on Google is probably going to be more than it is on, I don't know, BAC or something like that, okay? You talk about per share versus flat commissions. Newer traders, per share fees is just a far more cost-effective way, right, to go about trading. I see a lot of traders, they come in and I'm like, okay, what platform? And they're like, oh, I'm on a, TD Ameritrade or something. I'm like, all right, cool. What's your per share rate? Well, I don't. I have a flat rate. Okay. What's your flat rate? Oh, it's like $9.95. per trade. Like, okay, well, are you trading like 10,000 share lots? Oh gosh, no, 100 share lots. I'm like, you're paying $10 each way for 100 shares? Uh-huh. That's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. So you wonder why you can't beat the market with high fees, right? They're expensive. And depending on the type of trader you are, a micro scalper or a longer term trader, they can be more expensive or less expensive. Okay. So the more volume you trade, generally, the better rate that you get. All right. Platform costs. They can go anywhere from $150 to $400 a month. That's what they are here. Okay. Now, I use TradeStation, and I've used Sterling and Fusion and Lightspeed and many other platforms through the years, and I'm lured to TradeStation because one of the things it has is it's free if you trade over 5,000 shares a month. Well, the people in the room know that I've been very frustrated with that over the last several weeks, several months, because the freeness is not paying for itself, right? Today it cost me $600 to $800. Well, I would rather pay that $100 to $300 platform fee than give up $600 in one day, and I'll explain that later why. Okay, so when you think about it, sometimes the platform, because it's free, there's a reason it's free. Now, I'm not knocking TradeStation per se. I do like it. It's just, there are times when it infuriates me. So I look at you guys out there. How many of you guys use what I would call a retail account? Your E-Trades, your maybe your IBs or your TD Ameritrades or even TradeStation. Those types are kind of semi-retail accounts. Okay. Interactive brokers, I just mentioned that one. Thinkorswim is another one. There's a lot of them. Hey, Dan, how's it going? The Forex guru is in the house. Now, again, I'm not knocking all those platforms at all. Some of them are very good. It's just that no platform is perfect. I've experienced that, and I don't care if you're paying $400 a month for what or paying zero. None of them are perfect. Okay, so there are a lot of folks, okay, that are using retail platforms. All right, so we'll address that maybe a little bit later, but when you think about it, guys, in the beginning, keeping your fees down is one of your main goals. Okay, if they're too high and you're not sure because maybe your platform's expensive or you're using flat commissions, or even if you're using per share, you're paying 70 cents per 100 or something crazy, right? All of those things add up. All right. In fact, and I'll bring it up later. I apologize. I just got off traffic. I was looking at Unmal's his account statement from last year, and I think, what was it, Unmal? $40-some thousand you paid in fees? I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like 41 grand or $42,000 between platform fees and all that other stuff, right? And it's something you and I sat down and had a long discussion about how you can take 10 or 20,000 off that. So it's a big deal. Okay, it's a very big deal, no matter who you are, whether you're making, $2,000 a year, $200,000 a year. It's a very big deal. Okay, one of the things I want to stress, and you'll see this again later on, guys, it says here, live traders does not get paid on commissions, doesn't get paid a commission on trades. When we talk about the cap account, okay, here in a couple of minutes, one of the things you have to understand, and I will reiterate it, is, see, a lot of these companies like T3 and these big prop houses, right? They don't give a shit whether you make money or go broke. They don't care if you go broke. Why? Because you pay them fees every time you push that button. Buy 100, sell 100. Buy 1,000, sell 1,000. Buy 5,000, sell 5,000. I get paid every time. Those big prop houses love that. They don't care if you wash yourself out. We don't have that luxury here, okay, at Live Traders. We do not get paid a commission on trades. We're not allowed. We cannot accept that. Okay, so we have a vested interest in people succeeding simply because, well, they have to for us to make any kind of money, right? And that's unique. Remember when I started, I said we're very unique in this industry? Well, that's one of the big unique things that we have here, okay? Here's an example, guys, because I couldn't let it go. I had to put this in here in the last hour or so because it pissed me off so much today. This is FIT, okay? This is CON. Both of these charts are taken from today. You can see the date, 2/23/2/23. This is a TradeStation chart. Well, FIT under 1385, stop 1415. J, same thing. Why'd I cancel it? Because it's not shortable for me, right? CON, not available either. WTF, right? I wanted to short this thing right under there. See that red bar, okay? This thing went down quite a bit today, all right? This right here, you can see the numbers I was looking at, 1385 by 1450. The thing went down almost to 13 flat, an 85-cent move, almost 3 to 1. That right there and that right there are two trades I had every intention of taking today. I called it for the room, about ready to take it. Go to push the button, WTF. I can't short it. It's not available. Okay? You know how freaking frustrating that is? Okay, again, as you can see, I'm still hot about it. That's just $600-800 today right here. Just take a look at those charts. Now, for somebody like Unmall, if he was unable to short it, he's looking at $3,000 or $4,000 today. Now, they were available for him, but that's not the point. I want to talk about was available for him. All right. So Jay and I were both a little upset. You know, he called me up afterward. He's like, "Dude, this is getting a little bit old. You know, this is happening way more than it needs to be happening." So one of the things we've considered is, you know, using a Fusion or Sterling type platform. Now, don't get me wrong. Some days they're available, but too often they're not. Okay, too often they're not. All right. So I just had to bring this up because it just happened today. It happened last week on GBX. I mean, they stick out like a sore thumb when they happen because if you risk $100 on this, you just gave up 2 to 1 here. That's 200. 2 to 1 here. That's 400. If you risk $500, you give 1,000 here and 1,000 here. It's unacceptable. All right. And the more I watch our corporate account traders shorting stuff, and I remember somebody in the room who was on Fusion. And you guys remember this for the people in the room. They're like, "Yeah, Jared, I didn't want to bring it up to you because I felt bad." What he felt bad about was being able to short fit because I couldn't. That's a true story for the people in the room. They know this. He's like, "Yeah, I was able to short it on Fusion, so I didn't want to bring it up and rub it in." And that's nice. I respect that, but it's still the fact that I couldn't short it. Okay. This one is one that I go back and forth with. Okay. As I say, traders that know what they're doing, more capital can be good for you. Traders that have no idea what you're doing, more capital is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So generally speaking, not enough capital is generally not the problem. Generally not the problem. Okay? So you don't need $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 in a retail account to trade profitably. You just don't. Okay? You don't even need a retail account in any way, shape, or form, and not a lot of people have $50,000 to trade with. Okay? So you think if you could take $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 and make almost the same amount as you could with $35,000, isn't that something that would appeal to people? Well, to me it did, and that's one of the reasons that I traded a prop style account for so many years. Okay? How to trade with PDT rules? You mean without PDT rules, right? I mean, yeah, you're right, Pavel. How do you trade with less than 25 grand and get around the pattern day trading rules? The question, right? How do you trade with less than 25 and get around that rule? You have two choices: prop, cap. I'm going to talk about both of those probably in the next 10 minutes. I mean, back to back. I can explain all three: retail, prop, cap. So you know exactly what each one entails, okay? Because they're all different, all right? Some are better than others, okay? Now, don't trade above your experience level. You trade small until you've shown consistency. Don't trade spready, whippy stocks that could get you hurt. You don't trade Google, you know, with a $2,000 or $3,000 account. Even though you might only have 100 shares of it, you could still get hurt for a small account. You don't overtrade or revenge trade, right? More trades is not always better. See, a lot of people sometimes will think, well, gosh, I'm only using $50 risk, or I have a small account, so I have to turn it over a lot. I got to just push the button and push the button. Like I said, guys, we don't care if you push it once a day or 500 times a day. It doesn't matter to us. You're paying the fee to somebody else, right? You're paying the fee to Rothschild Lieberman. I don't get a penny of that. So I don't really care what you do. I'm just telling you, you don't need to push the button 100 times a day to make money, okay? You don't marry your stocks. You don't marry your biases. You accept the loss and you move on, okay? And you resist the urge to revenge trade, okay? But as we always talk about, the need to be objective, okay? And at the bottom, I wrote this because I've had too many conversations with people about this. I don't have enough in my account. I don't have enough money. So I think you think it's bullshit. Well, let's take a look, okay? I'm going to prove to you. All right, I was asked to do this a couple of years ago. Sorry, somebody asked me, well, why would you start your account with $2,100 in it, Jared? Okay, I said, well, because somebody was complaining to me that they can't make any money with $2,000 or $3,000. Right? They're sitting there going, you can't make any money with $2,000. And I said, yes, you can. It's just not going to happen overnight. You got to give yourself 6, 9, 12 months, and you can turn that $2,100 into a pretty nice amount of money. Okay, so it doesn't take a lot to make a lot, but it takes an education, focus, and discipline. And that last one is hard because you're starting with so little. No, you just don't have a lot of room for error, right? So if you want to make it work, you have to be patient, you have to be disciplined, and realize that to grow 2 into 50 or 100 is going to take more time, okay? There you go. I like that one. Trade it, don't date it, right? If you're going to turn 2 into 50 or 100, it's not the same as turning 25 into 50. I'm going to repeat myself. If you're trying to turn 2,000, that is, into 50, it's not the same thing as turning 25,000 into 50. You have to appreciate that in the beginning, okay? You have to. And I want you to take note. I had a really shitty day there, but that aside, these are not big up days or big down days. I just chipped away at it. $230 was my single biggest up day the entire month. It was my single biggest up day the entire month. I still made $1,400 that month. Now, $1,400 is not a lot of money, but when you start with $2,000, it's a hell of a lot of money. It's a 75% return. Okay? Wow. Now, you pop ahead a few months, same account, okay? Got a little more money in it. Now, oh, things change. My biggest up day is $576. Went from 230 to 576. Okay? Turned 2165 into 51,000 gross. Okay? Now I want you to take a look. By the time we get, deep into what is that, August? You're seeing $1,000, $1,700 up days. Okay? By the time you get to November, same. You're seeing $2,000 up days, $1,700 up days, $1,500 up days. Got more in my account, right? I'm able to do more with more now. But I started with almost nothing. Okay? I started with almost nothing. See, the problem is, all right, and you get signed in as me, there's me, it's all me, okay? We don't show that shit in this business. I'm a little different, okay? This stuff, though, give it a second. This stuff doesn't just, you don't wake up and this just happens to you. You don't just wake up with a $3,000 account and make $1,600 on DDD or $929 on Solar City. Okay, I put this in here from the prints and the order ID, for all the people that are, I don't know, untrustworthy or whatever, but this is it, okay? I don't win on every trade either, all right? But that's a $2,000 day. That's the same account, all right? That's the same account, okay, as this, all right? When you start with more, you can make more. Start with less, you make more, just takes a little longer. I'll repeat that. Start with more, you can make more. You start with less, you can make more. It just takes longer to make more, okay? What I don't want to see traders doing, though, okay, is taking this and risking $200, $300, $400 a trade on it. I see it, and I know Dan's in the house. I see this happen, most often. I see it happen in Forex. People open an account with like $1,000 or $2,000, and they risk it all on one trade. They'll risk like 70% on one trade, 50% on one trade, because they have no concept of money management. Well, traders occasionally do that, right? You don't want concept of money management. Well, traders occasionally do that, right? You don't want to do that, right? You want to realize that if I lose on a trade, okay, if I lose on a trade, I'm going to lose maybe $50. I can handle $50 on this, right? I can't handle 500 or 1,000 on this, okay? So having days like this, it happens, but it doesn't happen with a $2,000 account, but it can start with a $2,000 account, okay? Now note, I want you to take note. That was 2,100 into 51,000. There's 13,000 into 121, okay? That's my 2011 K1. That's 13,000 to 121. That's a 921% return. Doing exactly, okay, what I just talked about. Starting small and growing, right? Growing. That's what you do, right? That's how you make money, okay? So 2012, 2013, just take a look. 11,095, okay? Who puts the freaking tax returns up there, right? 825%. There's that 2,100. That's 50. It's still my best year I've ever had in terms of percentage. That's 1,500%. Okay, 1,500%. Right? Getting paid is nice, right? Getting paid is nice. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, but you have to appreciate where you start from. If you're going to start with 50 grand, and the sky's the limit, you can go make 500,000 this year. Okay, but if you start with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5,000, you best be careful in the very beginning, those first 3-4 months, because you have to build your account, right? Okay, so I mean, that was 17 G's in 1 month. That's not a bad month, right? Not a bad month when your account started with 13. Now you're making 17 in a month. Okay, not bad. But this is what you don't want to be. What's this? This is the required gain it takes after a loss. All right? The bigger the hole you dig, the harder it is to get out of. The problem is too many traders put themselves in too big of a hole. Okay? You put yourself in a position of losing too much. You start doing foolish things like risking too much, and then you exacerbate the problem. Follow your plan, keep the losses small, let your winners run. You always stay in control. One of the things we do in the CAP account, which I'm going to get into specifically here in a second, is we help control this problem by placing loss limits on every trader that we have. Okay? But just take note. You lose 5, 10, 15, 20%, that's not so bad. Right? You can recover from that. You know, once you start getting into the 30+% range, look what you need to make to get it back. You get down to 50% of your account, you need 100% return just to get back to even. 100% to get back to even. You lose 5%, you need 5.3. I can deal with that. You lose 10, I need 11. Not so bad. You get past this 30, 40, 50% range, you're in big, big trouble. You're in big, big trouble. Okay? You keep things the way we teach them. All right? The way we teach them is simple. You get a nice pullback, nice bottoming tail, little volume spike. You buy it at 243. You put your stop at 242.30. I like tight stops. You can put it down here if you want. You walk away with $1,255. Okay? Keep it simple. Now, if this stock had gone against me, I would have taken my loss, just like I did on Caterpillar. I lost $700 on that trade, and I lost $200 on Facebook. All right? I would have taken my loss and moved on. Okay? Same in FedEx. A similar type play, right? Nice buy setup. Buy at 113, stops at 112.85. You want to put it at 112.50? Be my guest. Doesn't change much here. It went $2 or $3. Okay? It was $500-600 in 3 minutes. But note, I had a bad loss on IBM that day too. Took 3 other trades to get it back. Okay? A little bit of slippage on the IBM. It wasn't pretty. So I don't win every time, but the one thing I do is keep them under control. Right? I keep them under control. Okay? This was a little bit earlier this year. I put this in here because Unmal and I both traded a couple of these things. Right? Entry here, stop here. Entry here, stop here. Entry here, stop here. If they had stopped, we would have taken the stop. Buy it at 41. Stop down here. Boom. Okay? QUNR, it's $350 I made on that thing. It's quick, easy money. All right? Unmal shorted the race, bought the WMB, made $3,500 on it. That's pretty nice. Okay? So now I want to take a look at what's the difference. Retail prop cap. Everybody's like, well, what the heck is cap? It's corporate account is what we call it, the corporate account program. Well, retail, to be a pattern day trader, which means you're allowed to take as many trades as you want, okay? You need at least 25 grand. And to be honest, you need more than that, because if you go to 24,999 bucks, they lock you. You can't take any more trades. So, call it 30 grand, all right? You need some cushion, okay? Prop accounts. You go, okay, well, what's the difference between a corporate account and a prop account? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a second, okay? We're going to talk about that in just a second. So your max leverage here is 4 to 1, right? 4 to 1. So you got 25,000, you got 100,000 in buying power, day trading, intraday. Okay? Prop, you can get over 10 to 1. Corporate account, you can get over 10 to 1. Okay? Max drawdown, unlimited. You could bust up your 25,000 in one day. If you let's say you bought a stock that just never bounced and it just dropped all day. Let's say you bought like LL, or was it VRX yesterday? I think VRX dropped like $10. What if you bought VRX and it just kept dropping? You could literally end your day with like $8,000 in your account, right? It's possible, okay? So now you have no max drawdown. Go tilt, blow up your whole account in one day, all right? In prop, it's controlled. In corporate account, it's controlled, right? And from what I'm seeing in the industry these days, I put 3,000, but from what I've been seeing, actually, you need most places I've seen, you need about $5,000 in prop these days. Okay, corporate account for us starts at 3. Your losses are controlled. We just won't let you blow up your account. All right, it's bad business. All right, commission rebates, no. Right, so when you get an ECN rebate, most retail, there might be one or two, most of them don't have it. Okay, prop, corporate account, you can get that. The one area where maybe we're not up to snuff with retail is we don't allow people to hold overnight. Why? One word, leverage. Okay, leverage. All right, corporate account, you're trading our money. All right, so we don't want a stock to gap down $5 and then be stuck with that. Right? We don't want to be stuck with that. So we don't let people hold overnight. Now, needing a Series 56 or a Series 7, this is a pretty big deal. Okay? I've taken the test for Series 56. Okay? Series 7 in Wall Street. All right? You don't need that to trade a retail account. You don't need that to trade a cap account. But you absolutely need it to trade a prop account. And you know what comes with that? A whole bunch of bullshit. You can hear my disdain for it. I'm going to talk about it in a couple minutes, okay? 1 year lock period. Prop, they lock your money for a year. You go with T3, you go with one of those guys, go get your Series 56, go lock your money. You got 10, 20 grand you put with them? Well, it's February 23rd, February 22nd, 2017, get your money back, okay? Chris, the quick answer is yes. I'll explain in a minute, okay? Education, no. Prop, no. Corporate account, yeah. Here's one for you. A lot of you guys may not know this, but especially some of the bigger firms out there like T3, okay, you have to list all outside accounts. You're going, well, what does that mean, Jared? Be more specific. Well, that means if you have a prop account and you have a 401k and you have an IRA and you have maybe an E-Trade account, okay, every one of those accounts has to be listed with them. You have to give them full access to those accounts, okay, and you get the joy of giving them all full access to those accounts, and you pay them $25 a month to do it, okay? And you have to pay them $25 a month to do it. So your IRA that's private to you, your 401k that's your personal business, the prop firm gets to look at it. Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome? You have an outside E-Trade account with 50 grand in it. Prop firm gets to look at it. The compliance guy gets to look at that. And for him getting to look at it, they get to charge you $25 a month for it. Isn't that great? It's unbelievable. Okay? Now, that's not true for non-U.S. folks. That's true for U.S. traders. Okay? And let me preface that. It's true for U.S. traders. Okay? But are you kidding me? No matter what the account type is, they got to see it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay? Commission conflict. Okay? Well, yeah. When you're going, what do you mean by commission conflict? What I mean is they want you to push the button, right? They're telling you push it, push it, push it, push it. We make a commission every single time that you push it. Every time you push the button, we make some money off you. We are not allowed to accept commissions here, okay? So we don't. We can't. It goes right to Rothschild Lieberman. We're not allowed to accept commission. So I don't care if you press it one time or 58 times a day. Don't care, okay? So there's just a lot of benefits to the corporate account, okay? How do you treat Uncle Sam under cap account? Great question, Cornell. Let's talk a little bit about that. I'm going to get to it in a couple minutes when it says tax benefits right down there. Okay, I'll get to it when I get to that. This is a little bit of a reiteration of the last slide, but a little more detailed. Okay, you get monthly trader training. As soon as you join this educational program, this educational package, okay, because that's what it is, all right? Under the rules, it's considered to be an educational package, all right? You get education, obviously, right? With that, you get monthly trader training, okay? We send out a course that we've created for this specifically. It teaches you about trading. You get a trade tracking spreadsheet that comes with it. You get a trading psychology CD, you know, for those traders that sell too soon and they need to learn how to say woo-saw and then relax a little bit. You get a gap scanner, okay? You get access to our pro webinar education series as well, okay? Email, tech support. What's really cool, though, is you'll get an organized online trade reporting system. What I mean is, like, for those of you that are familiar with prop reports, it's very similar to that, all right? It's it's almost identical to prop reports, okay? What I really like, and it's one of the things that's been, as you know, a thorn in my side lately, is this, the borrow list, okay? Today, we had somebody on Fusion be able to short FIT, and I wasn't. That's, again, $400 or $500 there, okay? Generous profit split, okay? You keep 80, we keep 20%. All right, you make 10 grand, you keep 8,000, we keep 2. All right, that's how we make money. Okay, there's no 1-year lock period. Okay, you can get your money back anytime. Okay, and then you get significant discounts on our courses. I'll get to that in a minute. I want to talk about the tax benefit for a quick second. Now, I'm not a tax accountant, okay, but this is considered an educational package, Cornell. Okay, what that means is you can write off. We have 4 different packages: 3,000, 5,000, 7,500, and 10,000. Say you came in for 5,000. Okay, you can write all of that off. It's an educational package that you purchased. Okay, it's an educational package that you purchased. You can write off the cost of the program because you just paid for an educational package. Okay, as part of that educational package, all right, if we feel you're responsible, we will provide you with a direct access platform: TurboTick, DAS, Lightspeed, Fusion, Sterling. Okay, there's a monthly cost to that. All right, and then if you make money, okay, and this is important, if you make money, let's say your 5,000 goes to 20,000, so you made 15 grand. You will be 1099, Form 1099, for those of you familiar, independent contractor type status. You'll be Form 1099 for only what you withdraw. So if you made 15,000 and withdrew 5, you'd get 1099 for 5. So you'd pay taxes on that 5,000 because that's what you withdrew. Or if you withdrew more, you pay taxes on that. Obviously less the initial 5,000 that you paid for the program, right? So you can write off the whole program, all right, whatever level you decide you want to come in, educational package. If you do make money, you'll be 1099 for the profits that you pull out only, not the whole profits, only what you pull out. Okay? Yes. Okay? Yes. All right? So it's a really, really advantageous position to be in. Okay? 1, it's an educational package, so you can write it off. All right? 2, there's no 1-year lock period. If in 6 months you're like, you know what, it's just not working. I went from 5,000 and I'm just not feeling it. Okay, then we'll discuss giving it back, right? There's no 1-year lock period, okay? There's no Series 56, right? These are huge deals. For me, one of the biggest deals, all right, was the fact that I had to list outside accounts. I don't know about you guys, but that's bullshit. Right? I mean, literally, you have a 401k and an IRA, and you got to list that stuff to somebody you've never met in your life and has nothing to do with your trading account. They're not even connected. I don't think so. Never going to happen. Okay? Never going to happen. Why do I know so much about this, you ask? It's because I used to have a prop account with WTS, and then I had one with T3. I know all about how it works. Okay? We said there's got to be a better way. There just has to be a better way. And what's happening? For those of you in the prop world, anybody know what's going on? One word: monopoly. It's exactly what's happening. One company is monopolizing the whole industry, so they can tell you what to do and what not to do anytime they feel like it. And I've actually had them say to me on the phone, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. And they laugh. I'm like, okay, F you, and I just did. All right? So it's one of the big reasons we're so motivated to come up with a program like this, because people need choices. They need options. You cannot, it's like Bell Telephone. You can't be tied to one company, right? And it's so much more advantageous. And on top of it, if you want to come into our trading room, the live traders chat room, it's normally 147. For cap traders, it's 97. If you want to take professional trading strategies, 20-hour course, 460 pages, it's $14.97, right? Get a, in this case, 25. I don't know where 35 came in. 25% discount on that, okay? That's above all of the other training and education that you get. Okay. You don't need seriously, even though you live in the U.S. Just wanted to, no, you do not, JD. You don't. Right? You don't. Now, I know some folks in here are international, and you're going, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I understand. If you're international, you don't need a Series 56. Okay, that's true. But if you are in the United States and you would like to trade a prop account, you need a Series 56. You need to lock your money for 1 year. You need to list all outside accounts. That should be enough to not walk away, but run. Run as fast as you can. Okay. Now I want to go to one other last thing. Then I'm going to teach you about my favorite pattern, and then we're going to wrap this up. Okay, about 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up in about 10 minutes. Okay. Wealth building, all right? We do things a little different at Live Traders than maybe what you're used to, okay? Trading is one stream of income, guys. All right, I'm in my late 30s, and one of the things that friends, family, successful people I've come across in life have always told me is you're probably going to have a main cash cow. Everybody kind of does in life. But don't let that be your only stream or source of income, okay? So I'm a big believer in multiple streams of income. So trading is one of those streams of income, okay? If you're new at this and you're just starting out, don't quit that day job. Keep it, right? Until your trading can sustain you, okay? Smart people retain their job and use dual incomes to expedite the wealth process. This is a truism. That's what I did for the first few years, okay? Actually, I've done it almost the whole 10 years in some respects, okay? That's one stream of income that can turn into many other forms of income. So you day trade for income, you swing trade for wealth building, and core trade for wealth building, but it's not just that. Not, intraday trading, swing trading, it also helps you better manage your retirements, your IRAs, 401ks, okay? Higher returns gives you a better retirement. But that's not it. It's just one stream of income. You take that excess capital, that excess cash that you earned, that 121,000 I earned in 2011, that 95,000 I earned in 12, right? I take that money, that 100 grand extra a year, and I put it into investments. And a lot of people in the room, again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. This is something we do at a different time. It's more of a teaser than anything. I've taken that and I've turned it into commercial rental income that now far exceeds my trading income, right? 8 years later, right? You slowly chip away at it, all right? So trading is fantastic. I sit here and I trade at my desk, and in the background, you got LT going, Live Traders that is, and in the background, I got residential, commercial rental income. All of these things play a part in building wealth, okay? Being a trader is a great thing, but being an intraday trader is not likely going to make you rich. It's going to give you a very nice lifestyle, but you got to swing trade, core trade, and have multiple streams of income to be wealthy. Millions of dollars I'm talking about here, not 7, 8 figures, millions of dollars. Okay, so that's a topic I'll save for a different time, but let your money work for you. Take some of that income. Be a silent investor in other opportunities. Okay, do all of those things. All right, build you. Build your wealth streams. All right, so I just wanted to take like 2 minutes to talk about that. It's something I talk about in more detail at other times. This right here, guys, is my single favorite pattern. It's called a 3-bar play on any time frame. I don't care if it's a 1-minute chart, 5-minute chart, daily chart. You name the time frame, I don't care. It's a wide bar that ignites. It's a narrow bar that gives you a little period of quiet time, resting time, and then continuation right there. It's a 3-bar play. It can be a 4-bar play as well. All right. So notice this is on a 15-minute chart. All right. This is on a 15-minute chart. Wide bar above all this resistance. See this right there? That blue line? Sellers, sellers. We need to get above the $66 mark. Now this bar is a little bigger than I wanted, but it's okay. You know, $1.50 is not bad for a 60-some dollar stop. The next bar, take note. See how narrow that is? How small that is right there? Okay, right there. You get in at 67.50. You put that stop somewhere in 67.25. It's $2.50 right there. It took 15.30. Took an hour. An hour to make $2.50 on about a 30-cent stop. So 8 to 1, 8 to 1 on your money. Okay, beautiful. It's why do I like it so much? It's simple. Okay, here it is again. All right, I showed you this one a little bit earlier, but you'll get to see the result. Wide bar, taking out this whole area. Took out this area. Took out this area. Above all this, consolidation area. Boom. 60.50. 60.20, $929, 2 minutes. Okay, back to it. It's just simple, right? There, 30-cent stop. You're looking at about a 70-cent move. You got a quick 2 to 1, right? What's that? 61.30, 61.40. So about maybe 70, 80-cent move. Almost 3 to 1. Okay. Boom. Okay. You can see my order. Take it. Price 60.50, 60.50, 60.50, 60.50. Right? Getting my shares. And then boom, I'm selling quick. 61.20, right? That's a 70-cent pop, right? 61.11, 60.93. Now you can see I'm looking for 1 to 2 to 1 on my trades. Okay, 1 to 2 to 1. All right. So you're looking at that and thinking, wow, not bad. You know, you're literally taking a $500 or $600 risk and making $900 out of it in 2 minutes. Okay, wow, I'll take that. You know, and guys, it can happen on the short side too, right? We talked about shorting hard to borrow stocks. This probably wasn't available in TradeStation, right? Wide bar takes out this support. Consolidation bar short at 310.40. Okay, the screen, I think it changed. You're not. I'm on 2 different computers and I see it changed. I'm on minus 3 BP. Yeah, okay. You can take it at the open if you want, Mevo, but there's no pattern at the open. Notice this one happens about 10 a.m.-ish, right? Because it's a 15-minute chart, so it's happening actually about 10 a.m. Okay. Notice it dropped from 310 to 300-ish. $10 move, $2 stop. That's 5 to 1, right? That's 5 to 1. All right. Oh, there's other catalysts to it, Evo, for sure, right? We talk about that in professional trading strategies. I mean, 460 pages, there's a lot of concepts in there. We talk about topping tails. Notice here it says volume spike after multiple bars down equals reversal get out. Well, that's because we learned that earlier in the book. I'm just taking a page from one of my favorite chapters, which is 3-bar plays, because it's my favorite pattern. Okay, wide bar, breaking below support, narrow bar, 50%, right? There's more to it, but it's still a very simplistic pattern that can make a lot of money. Okay, so I want you to think about that, guys. You use trading to make income, but you don't need $25,000, $30,000 to do it. You can start with $2,000. Okay, you take a look, and there's no question it can be done, right? It has been done. Do it every year, right? 2,000 into 51,000, right? You can see the beginning of the year there. I'm just flipping through some because I'm about to wrap this up. 2,100 to 51,000. Okay, so imagine if you're patient, what you can do with $5,000 or $10,000. A lot. The answer is a lot. Okay, but you have to be patient. You have to be disciplined. You have to be educated, right? You have to learn from people that are in the trenches every day doing this kind of stuff. Okay, and why do we do all this, guys? To enjoy life. Okay, that's the main reason that we do this stuff. Okay, I'm going to be in the Bahamas. We had such a good time in Atlantis last year. This is last year in Atlantis and Nassau for those of you who have been. We had such a good time. I'm going again in March. For any of you guys that are going to be around, I'm going to be in Atlantis March 20th. Yeah, 21, 22, yeah, 20th. So if you're going to be around, look me up. I'm going to be in Atlantis. Okay. It's why you do this stuff. Have nice cars. Go on vacations. This one's up in Canada. Got to ride in a cool float plane and do all kinds of awesome stuff. Go to Joe's Stone Crabs and get 12-ounce colossal crab claws and see the kids' reactions when they catch their first fish, right? That's why we do this stuff. Okay, I don't know what it is that motivates you. You work hard, play hard, but again, don't forget why. Right? If you have a big enough why, you'll figure out the how. We're giving you the how. You just have to want it bad enough, right? So you think about that kind of stuff. Do you want to work for somebody else forever? Probably not. Right? You want to do things on your own terms. You want to enjoy life. And it's not just material stuff, right? It's not. It's not just about having a nice car or Z06 or this or that. It's about having fun. Okay? So when you think about a corporate account program, it allows you, okay, and this is something I didn't talk about earlier, account program. It allows you, okay, and this is something I didn't talk about earlier, but when I first got into a prop account, I had about $50,000, $60,000 in my retail account. What did I do? I started my prop account at that time with $5,000 or $10,000. I took that other 40 and put it in other investments. How fantastic is that, right? And then you could also a swing account. I did that later on too, right? I had a swing account and then an intraday account and then outside investments. Make your money work for you guys. Make it work for you. Right? So if you can make 50 or 100 plus thousand with 5 or 10,000, wouldn't you rather do that than doing it with 40 or 50,000 because you're only getting 4 to 1 leverage? I mean, seriously, think about that. You're getting 4 to 1 leverage. That's crap, right? So the corporate account, guys, is a great way to go about beginning the wealth building process. Okay? It's true. Trading is a lifestyle, not a profession, Cornell. If you want to be good in anything, it's always going to be that way. It's always going to be that way. Okay? So make your goals and your dreams happen because nobody else can, guys. That's it. We're giving you the vehicle to do it, and we will give you all the knowledge that we have to help you do it. But you still have to take that first step. If you don't want it, that's fine. You know, people come and go all the time in life. Not everything's for everybody, and that's cool. I get it. You know, I get it. Live traders is a lifestyle. Okay, live traders is a lifestyle. So if you guys have any questions or comments, shoot them on out there. Um, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Unmal may stop by here for a moment or two, I believe. He's going to talk to you for a minute and then answer some questions. And then I think, Unmal, you were telling me you have a couple things to give away, unless you were lying to me. I hope you weren't, right? Okay, cool. If you guys have any specific questions for me, I'll stay for about a minute or two, and then I'm going to hand it over, okay? When do you kick people out of the account after how much of a loss? That's a great question, Parag. We typically, if they drop 50%, we'll get in touch with them and we'll discuss why it's happening, how it happened, and then we'll give them an opportunity to prove themselves that they can do better. Does that make sense? So at 50%, you're going to be getting an email from us, maybe a phone call, I doubt it, but probably an email from saying, hey, let's talk, okay? Let's discuss how you got to this point, okay? And if we feel strongly like, look, you know, you have the potential to do well, we'll give you a little more string, so to speak, okay? But we're not in the business of just watching people burn themselves. That's just foolishness, okay? And we've had that at, you know, Unmal can talk about it. We had somebody do that. We did. We had somebody do that, and we said, look, this might not be for you, okay? It might not be for you. What do you think is a strategy to recover from a 90 time? You want the honest answer, Hosam? Time. That is the God's honest answer. Okay, if you're smart, disciplined, you'll take your 10% you have left and you'll give it as much time as it takes. All right, it might take you 2 years to recover from that. I don't know, but time. Okay. Let's see. Cornell, it's $3,000 for the educational program, and that potentially, again, depending on where you're at, potentially allows you to trade as much as $2,500 of our capital. Also restricted shares in oil and gas. Ooh, yeah, oil and gas has been hammered. I know somebody, Hosam, that has over $1 million in oil and gas. I was telling the room this today, and they're down 50% on it. They're down to 500 grand, and they're looking to put another million. And I said, are you nuts? I said, it may come back. I said, but you really want to double down cost average on that big of a losing position? Poor money management, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, I want to say thanks for stopping by. Unmal's going to come on, and like I said, he's got a few things that he wants to talk about, as well as give away a couple cool products that we have. All right, so get in touch. Email info@livetraders. In fact, I should have put that on the slide. I don't know why I didn't. It's at the bottom, but you know it's hard to see. Info@livetraders, guys. Let me put that in the announcements, okay? Info@livetraders.net or info on cap. There it is. Okay? All right. Yeah, no problem, guys. I'm glad you stopped by. Unmal is going to be on momentarily.
Hello. Sound check, everybody. How's it going? Hey, Jan, Chris, Julie, Maud, Jan again, Chris, Divyesh, Martin, Marco, DB, John, Alpert, Ken, Randall, Sebastian, Carnell, George, Pavel, Craig. How's everybody doing on this nice Tuesday evening? Hey, Jack, how's it going? So, what I'm here right now for is to, you know, sort of explain the whole goal behind the program. Because, I mean, trust me when I say this, it's unlike any other program that we've formed. And the reason, I mean, if I'm that confident, there's a reason for that, right? The main thing, right? So what I came on to say is that, you know, PTS, right? Cap account, PTS, is basically, you know, Jared, me, and Jay, is basically me becoming your personal coach, right? To deep dive, you know, to understand the content, so you understand the content fully, right? It's like when you get a tool, right? A hammer, okay? So I mean, people say, hey man, here's the hammer, you know, here's some nails, but you're probably gonna need some coaching on how to actually use that hammer or how to actually use that tool, right? So that's why professionals like us, right? We have their equipment, right? Professionals have their equipment. They practice that equipment over and over and over again, right? They watch the videos for the PTS, they read the manual, and I'm going to tell you a story about a guy, right? I'm going to tell you a story about a guy who signed up for the room. He said, bro, I signed up for your room, and now I don't even listen to you for your trades, right? I just listen to you on how you handle yourself and your mindset, right? I feel like you when I'm trading. I feel that confidence when in a trade, So everybody needs a model to emulate, right? Everybody needs a model to emulate. I had it, Jared had it, Jay had it. Some people say that you're supposed to be yourself, right? What bullshit, right? Dude, you're not yourself right now, right? How's being broke yourself, right? How's being worried about $2,000, $3,000 yourself? How do you take a spiritual being, created by the mysteries of the universe, right? Mysteries, phenomena of the universe, but a guy can't trade his way out of shit, right? That ain't you. I'm in a trade, I don't know what to do. That ain't you, right? I have strategies, I have the trading plan, but I still can't make any money. That is not you, okay? So then some people say, it's in the DNA. It's not in the DNA, man. Some say you either got it or you don't. BS, right? What BS? It's not in the DNA. We all have the same cells. We have the same molecules. All of us are essentially the same. Yeah? All this can be developed. I know for sure, right? I know for sure it can be developed, right? But do some people have more horsepower than others? Maybe. I don't even know if that's true, right? But what I do know that is true is that nobody is using all the horsepower they've got, right? You know what really costs all that money? Not using all that horsepower is what costs a lot of money. You think $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 is a lot of money, right? But a lot of money is missing trades. Not getting the most out of your trades and trading for several years without making any money, knowing not what not to do or what to do, not being motivated, not being excited about your life, not having a playbook of trades, not living the life you want. That costs a lot of money, right? A lady called me the other day and she was like, last year I made some money, but this year I want the lifestyle, right? I need to start making some real money. Now that's a great attitude. That's the kind of attitude of a person or trader that I want, right? I call that being rich, right? I want to be rich, right? So tell you, are you committed to get rich this year, right? Let me know. And if you have a problem with that, you have a problem with money, right? Nobody would have a problem with that except the people who have problem with money. If you want to make money, quit feeling bad about that, right? So whether you sign up for CAP or PTS, or you don't, right? Either way, you're going to be making a decision, right? You sign up, you don't. Either way, you're making a decision. You're going to be making a decision either way. So might as well make the decision with the more upside, right? Which decision has more upside? Now here's, choice number A. Okay, these guys sound really good. These guys are great traders. I see what they make, but maybe I don't know, maybe this or that. And that's choice number A. You don't do what you wanted to do, and you're going to be where you're going to be, right? That's choice number A. And now there's choice number B on the other side of the tunnel, which is, okay, I'm going to give this a shot, right? I want this for my life. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 all my life, especially those who are young. I started trading in college, and I'm actually proud to say that I've never actually held a job, right? I'm proud to say that. I've never had a job because number one, I couldn't get a job, right? I got out of university, applied for all these jobs, and everybody kept rejecting me. And I was like, man, take a middle finger. I'm gonna do it myself, right? I'm gonna do it myself. I never worked for anybody, and that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. And now when I look back, right? Man, things do happen for a reason, huh? Right? Because now the same people are asking me for help, asking me for advice, asking me for a job. What a great feeling. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is now that's choice number A. You don't do what you were doing. And now choice number B is that, choice number B, the other side of the tunnel, is which says, hey, I potentially have an opportunity. Okay? Now, because let's be honest here. You guys are here, okay, which I appreciate. I love that you guys are here. Thanks for spending the evening with us. But you are here for a reason, right? You're here for a reason. And there are only two reasons, okay? One reason is you're just here for entertainment. Reason number two is you're sort of thinking, man, I deserve better from life, right? I deserve better from trading, right? I see these people on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. I deserve better. I want to be that guy, right? I want to be there. That is why you're here, okay? So now if you're here, make the commitment to yourself, right? I don't need any commitment from you, okay? Because I only work with people who are committed, okay? And a lot of you people, I mean, a lot of you guys, I love you guys, but a lot of people I won't even work with, okay? I won't even work with. So the reason why I say that, and I don't know who pulled it up. Is that Jared? So that is my account statement, okay? Jared just brought it up, and I'm glad he blocked out my account number. Yeah, that is my account number, okay? If I started in college, applied for a job, I would have got a $30,000, $40,000 job, okay? And this is my statement for 2015. And I'm not even 20, I'm not even 30. I'm not even 30 yet, okay? So, and the reason why I say that, okay, the reason why I say that is the other side of the tunnel, okay? You've got opportunity, okay? You've got opportunity. Now, which choice do you want? Which choice do you want? Like, it's a no-brainer. Choice number A, do what you do currently that you're doing. If you're happy with it, okay, fine, amazing. Wish you all the best. We're still going to be friends. We're still going to see you on the open house. We're still going to be together. Choice number B is you partner with me because I want you, right? I want you to trade with me. You know why? You know why I say that? Number one, we have a vested interest. I mean, think of it this way. If I can turn 3 of you, all right? Let's just say 3 of you. If I can turn 3 of you like me, and I'm gonna take maybe 10-20% of your profits, I've got a vested interest now. That's what's in it for me, right? No hiding, no nothing. If you make money, if I make you a profitable trader, we're gonna be partners in this. You're gonna be trading my money. We're gonna take a percentage of your profits. That's it. That's the only catch that you ever have, right? So here's what you will get when you sign up, okay? You're going to get a course, number one, which is going to teach you how to use that platform, okay? You're going to learn how to use, you know, the ECN fees, the software fees, how to execute your trades, route, ECN, dark pools, platforms, everything, okay? Then you're going to get all these tools to kickstart you and get you making money. But here's something really cool that we just decided, okay? Everyone in the CAP account, okay, you guys get monthly coaching sessions. I'm going to work with you, right? I'm not going to outsource it. I'm not going to get one of my students to do it. I'm going to work with you. Jay's going to work with you. Jared's going to work with you one-on-one, okay? One-on-one, we're going to work together. Every single month, you're going to have a coaching session. And you know what the best part is? I don't want a single dime from you. That's it. Once you're part of the program, you get monthly coaching sessions. You don't have to pay for that. You don't. Not even $50, not even $10. But what I need from you, however, is commitment. I need commitment. I need an open mind. I need a willingness to learn. Just sit up. If you're not making money, especially if you're one of those traders who's not making money or is breaking even, trust me, stop thinking. Just listen for 3 months. Give me 3 months, all right? Heck, don't even give me 3 months. Give yourself, give your family, give your family 3 months, okay? If you don't make money, you want to leave, no hard feelings. We part ways as friends. You can go about your business, right? But what I am confident of is developing. We just talked about it, right? All this can be developed, okay? All this can be developed. And you know another cool idea I had? We're going to make a Skype group, okay, of all the people who are in the CAP account. You're going to have me, Jay, and Jared personally on Skype all day long. And then we're going to do, let's say, a 5-minute, 10-minute quick motivation at 9:20. I'm going to kind of pump you up for the day, wish you luck, and then do a morning meeting, go over the best ideas for the day so you guys are prepared to make money. Because think about it this way. If you don't make money, who's to lose? More than you guys, we're going to lose, right? Because you're going to be trading our money. This is not magic buying power or leverage. This is our money, okay? I can put that same money in a swing trading account, in a corporate trading account, in a Forex trading account. I can put it in real estate, and I can get a good percentage return on my investment, right? But I'm willing to put, you know, my trust in you guys because I have trust in myself, and the ability of Jared, ability of Jay to make profitable traders. Okay? And it's not just something that we talk about, right? Polar Hawk, he took mentorship with Jay. He posted his equity curve in our private Facebook group. He's been making money. I've been working with Martin and some other people, who've been making money after coaching. Right? Yao, he's one of the most upcoming hotshot traders in our corporate account. Okay? He's got a little bit things to work on, which I'm going to work on with him. Okay? And he's already making money right now, but he's going to be making more money. So when you finally join a team, okay, it's not about making money. Making money is like the minuscule thing. Yeah? Making money is not the issue. The issue is making more. How do we make more? How do we add another zero to our P&L? Okay? Yeah, here Martin is, right? It's been great. Martin started, I think when we started doing coaching, Martin, I think you were at, what, $75 risk, right? And now Martin at $300 risk. By the time I'm done with him, he's going to be $1,000 risk. You know what I mean? So making money is not the issue. Stop, have unrealistic goals. The biggest thing I say, don't have realistic goals as far as it comes to money. Have unrealistic goals. I'd rather set goals that are so big that I never reach them than I set a low goal and I reach it. That's the worst. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to say to you guys. And either way, I'm going to be here, right? Either way, you guys sign up or don't. Jay's going to be here. I'm going to be here. Our members going to be here. We're still going to do what we do. Still going to make money. Yeah? And you sign up. I'm happy to work with you, right? I'm gonna personally commit to you. But I also want a commitment from you. Why should I put my time and effort coaching people who are not committed, right? You know what I mean? So now, how many of you, now I want to know, because I really want I don't want backbenchers. I don't want people sitting in a webinar, not saying hi, not saying hello, just sitting and listening. Listening is not going to get you nowhere. You got to be active participant in your learning. So how many of you, I need a one, like how many of you are actually committed? Doesn't mean it's fine if you're not ready to sign up. It's all good. But how many of you are actually committed to making it? How many of you are going to, throw in all you've got to make it? Right? I want to see. Doesn't matter if it's the program. Awesome. So see, now here's the question. Like, if everybody's committed, what's holding you back? Right? Like, what is holding you back, man? Come on. Literally, what is? You guys have been here. A lot of you guys have so many familiar names. You guys come through all our webinars, come through all our open houses. You guys are following on stock trades. You're there, right? So there's something there that's maybe holding you back, right? And probably, as Pavel said, it's previous losses. And I totally understand. That's a genuine reason, right? That's a genuine reason. Previous losses hold you back. But are you going to let your previous losses hold you back for the rest of your life? Because 3 years from now, you're going to wish you started today. Right? The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Okay? And on that note, what I want to do is there's not going to be a single link for you to pay. I'm not going to ask you guys to pay or sign up or anything like that. I want to see who's actually committed. But here's the catch. Since you are going to be trading our money, okay, it's just law of numbers. We can't accept everybody. There's like 40 people who just typed in one. They're interested. But unfortunately, we can't accept everybody, right? Because here's the thing. We can't accept everybody. Because our money is also limited, right? I'm not a billionaire yet, right? And notice the yet. So I'm not a billionaire yet. I don't have unlimited capital to back each and every one of you. Not yet, at least, right? Maybe in 10 years, if I'm keep on working as hard as I've been, maybe in a couple of years. But right now, we can take 3 to 5 people, okay? And that's it. I hope you guys love the webinar. I hope you guys learned something there. And let's work together, okay? Let's work together. Let's take you guys to the next level. And we're going to be hosting a live meetup for all our cap traders sometime in New York. We're going to go to the stock exchange together. You're going to go out, have dinner together. You're going to trade with me together. Right? I'm going to watch you trade. You're going to watch me trade. We're going to do all those things. But all I want is commitment. I want you guys with me. And if you guys are in, right? Email info@livetraders.net. If you're in, that's fine. Let's work together. If you're out, that's fine. We can still part as friends, and I'll see you guys in the next webinar. So I'm happy to take questions, guys. Jared's here, Jay's here, I'm here. Let's do some Q&A. If you guys have any questions about the program, something that's holding you back, let's get past it. Let's get you making money. Let's not fret on the small things, okay? So I'm here, happy to answer questions. Who was my mentor? I had so many mentors, it's unreal. But Jared was one of my mentors. Yeah. Jared was one of my mentors. But you know who was the biggest mentor? The biggest mentor was my dad. Yeah. Robert, oh man, Robert, you don't hear anything? Man, I've been talking for like 50 minutes. But my biggest mentor was my dad. And he taught me nothing about trading. Okay. But he taught me certain important elements that are invaluable, right? He worked his way up selling tea in India, right, for less than 5 cents, okay? And I wasn't born then, but selling tea in India for like 5 cents, less than that probably, and working his way up to making, tons of money, being the biggest real estate moguls in India. And he never gave me the silver spoon. He always made me work for it, right? So I realized the value of money. He made me work for it. He made me hustle. He made me grind my way, right? And I never took it for granted. I was always really risk averse. Never really lost all my money. Never really blew up accounts as such because, well, I never had any money from him. I had to save up. And that was the biggest money management lesson ever, right? Ever. So apart from that, I learned a lot from Jared about trading. I learned from Jeff Yates. Right, Jeff Yates is also one of our traders in our room. Okay, I learned from Jeff Yates. I learned from so many people, it's unreal. But what I learned the most from is actually the market itself. The experience when you lose $2,000 and it's only 9:33 a.m. That look on your face when your account's down 50%, right? When you feel like you're gonna vomit, right? It feels like someone punched you in the stomach when you lose all that money. Anybody have that feeling? Anybody had that feeling when you lost so much money? Then you're like, you just can't talk. Like there's something stuck in your throat. You know what I mean? Like there's something just got stuck in your throat. You can't talk anymore, and you're like, you're just stuck. And that feeling will teach you more about trading than anything else. You know what I mean? So that'll teach you more about anything else. So the market is the biggest mentor I've ever had. Trial and error, losing money, making mistakes. That is what costs us money, right? So that is the biggest mentor. But here's the good part, right? When you work with me, when you work with Jay, when you work with Jared, best part is we've already made those mistakes, right? We've already made those mistakes. And I can give it to you on a silver platter. Hey, these are the mistakes I made. Don't do them. This is what made me money. Do this, right? If you can just follow that, I mean, come on, right? It's impossible not to make money. The question is not how much, the question is not if you're going to make money or not. The question is how much you're going to make. Yeah, that's the question. Okay, so let's see if the guys got any questions. So, oh yeah, pro webinar is actually just for the room members and those who are in the cap account. We do a free monthly webinar. Let's see. Please explain the program. William, please email info@livetraders.net. We'll send you the full packet. Okay, we'll send you the full package which contains all the information, everything you need to know. Okay, and then if you have any questions, I'm happy to get on a call with you. Okay. If you have any questions after going over that packet, give me a call. All right, I'll personally answer your calls. If you're committed, I'll personally answer your call. Right? We're gonna talk. I'm gonna explain to you the process. And hey, maybe the program's not even right for you, right? And the only way we're gonna figure out is if we talk, right? I'll talk to you and say, hey, maybe the program's not right for you, right? But I say, hey, maybe, you know what, this program's pretty good for you. So let's figure that out first, okay? Consistency is the key to tune the mind the right way. Man, I love the way you said that. I'm gonna use that next time, right? I'm gonna steal that line. I like it. Consistency is the key to tune the mind in the right way. Love it. That's perfectly right, Cornell. So, any questions, guys? Happy to stick around. I've got some stuff to do. Yes, I trade Forex as well. Dan, who was in the room earlier, he's the head Forex trader, but I only swing trade Forex. I don't day trade forex. I only hold stuff overnight. In fact, I'm in euro US dollar short right now, which is up like $120, 120 pips actually. Okay. So yeah, so I got stuff to do, guys. I have to leave. I have some stuff to take care of. If you guys have any questions, you know, Jared's here, Jay's here. We're gonna answer your questions. But personally, email us. Okay, we do try our best to respond to you immediately. Our assistant, Liba, she's awesome. She's gonna help you with everything. I'm gonna give you the information, and then if you want to talk to me, just email. Let's schedule something. I'll try and see if I've got a space in the calendar, and then we can talk. Right? Let's get you signed up. All right. And if you're not ready yet for Cap account, number one, go take a shower. Figure out why you're not ready. But if you just want to take education, maybe you say, hey, I already trade where I trade. I only want to take the course, the PTS course. We can do that as well. The only question is, are you ready? Right? Money's not the issue. Okay? Money's not the issue. Yes, there is a discount. So the room is $150 a month, but if you're in trading with us in the Cap account, you get 1 month free, and then the rest is $97 a month. Okay? And you get a bunch of other things, right? So just email info live traders. We'll send you a document which will contain all the information about the program. And then if you want to talk to me, we can schedule something out. I'll make space for you in the calendar if I don't have anything busy going on, and then we can talk. But let's make some money, right? Because you make money, I make money. That's how it works, right? If you don't make money, I don't make money. It's not worth it, right? So I'm vested interest. I've got to make you profitable, and then like Shalom. I wish Shalom was in our program, man. Shalom is one of our pretty good traders in our room. I wish Shalom was in the program because he's been making money. He's taking all the trades that I miss. Right? I wish he was in the program, and I could get 20% of that. You know. So yeah. So anyways, guys, I got a meeting. I'm late for it. I gotta leave. I appreciate you guys being here. I really do, but I really have some stuff to do. I'm gonna take care of some positions as well. So I'll speak to you guys later on. Thanks everybody for being here, and I look forward to working with at least some of you. Okay, and I'll speak to you guys later on. Thanks everyone for being here. I look forward to your email, and let's make some money. Thanks.